Oh, I know why that's not working. Oh, yes, it's working. Okay, wonderful. Hello. I'll put this in for the recording. My name is Leanne. I'm the RTO manager for Meditech Training College. Thank you for coming along to this presentation. And what we're going to do is give you some information, and then, we'll just see how we go. If you have any questions, write them down. Then we can pause throughout the session or leave the questions to the end, and I'll be happy to address any questions at the end of the presentation. It's probably going to take about 30 minutes. A lot of information relevant to the course, obviously. So let's go. We'll start with acknowledgement of country. Meditech Training College acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia. We pay our respects to elders past and present. Next slide is a quote. And I always like to start with a quote, and this quote's from Henry Ford. The only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. So I want to thank Columbia Aged Care for this wonderful opportunity for us to train your very valuable staff. And thank you for all of you who have enrolled. I want you to know that completing this certificate can be used as a credit towards further study. It's a nationally recognised course. And we're very happy to be working with Columbia Aged Care to help you achieve this competency. And the competency is in HLTHPS007, Administer and Monitor Medication. This unit describes the skills and knowledge required to administer medications to people and monitor them as per the delegation from a relevant health professional. And that term keeps coming up. It's quite important in this unit, in accordance with legislation, of course, and the employing organisation's medication and delegation policies and practice. The course is going to cover how you can identify potentially risky situations, how you can prepare for medication administration, identify and prepare the client for the administration of meds, how you can actually administer medication within your legal parameters, so you'll know what they are, how you can monitor the client's response, and then handle any medication contingencies and complete the appropriate documentation. So who will be your trainer? So I'd like to introduce to you Soibi Warmate. So Soibi, would you like to come in and introduce yourself to everyone and tell them about your experience in aged care?
Hello, everyone. My name is Soibi, as Leanne has mentioned, and I'm a registered nurse, and I've been in aged care for more than 5 years. Medication is something we have to do as nurses, so it's one area that I have worked and have experience. I have experience in that area, and I'm glad that you guys have come on board, and I'm happy to go through everything medication with you. So yeah, I'll talk to you next week, and we can start our classes next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Soibi. That's fantastic. So Soibi is your number one contact. You'll be having a lot to do with Soibi. We don't set and forget here. But before we begin, part of vocational education in Australia is language literacy and numeracy. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but over 40% of the Australian workforce requires LLN support. So RTOs, registered training organisations such as ourselves, are mandated by government to ensure we offer the appropriate level of support to students who need LLN support. Now, the support may be your language or your literacy, English as a second language, or it might be that you have ADHD, anxiety, or dyslexia, or any other, neurodiverse learning need that we can address. So it's not a test. Doing the language literacy and numeracy evaluation, it's completed online, approximately 30 minutes. It's definitely not a test. You're not going to fail. It might indicate to us that your numeracy is not your strength. Well, guess what? Then that means when it comes to calculating meds, your trainer knows, and then we'll spend more time with you just to go over the calculation of meds. So that's why it's designed to be done for all students. So it helps us to offer multiple ways to support various types of learners. This is called reasonable adjustment. Now, if you have completed up to a Certificate 3 previously, you don't have to do the language literacy and numeracy evaluation, but you do have to send me a copy of your Certificate 3. So Soibi will send you an email about that following today's meeting. And if you could send us a copy of your Cert 3, then we won't send you the link to do the LLN. That's not to say you may still need support, and that's okay, but that's what we're here to do, to help you through any support you need. How are we going to do this? We're going to hold weekly virtual classes such as this, okay? Ideally, we wanted you to attend individually with your own computer and your own device, but I think just given the workplace setup, it's obviously going to be better in a group. And if we can get that TV set up next week, then you can all participate in the group. And, you know, Soybe will presenting similar to what I am today. In between each class, there's going to be the need to do some e-learning modules. These are really up-to-date, current e-learning content, and that is actually where all the answers to the assessments are. So that's a hot tip. So do the e-learning modules and you'll be able to do your assessments. We've added into our course content video tips. So for every activity, assessment activity, there's a video that precedes the activity that you can watch to give you an idea of what's expected in the assessments. Soybe is busy recording lectures. So everything she'll be presenting next week will also be in a recorded lecture that you can re-watch in your own time. And we also offer you a simulated business called Lotus Compassionate Care. It's an online aged care business. And that's where all the answers are as well, because a lot of the assessments ask you to go and find a particular policy and procedure. So that's why we give you the simulated business Lotus Compassionate Care. Can you hear me okay? Yep. In addition to the TV. Sorry? Yep. All good. Okay, I can see you better. You got it to the TV. Yes, well done. Fantastic. Congratulations. Not an easy task, is it? Okay, thank you for that. In addition to this, Soybe will be available on Thursdays from 1:30 till 3, and that will just be a drop-in assessment support session, not mandatory. Attendance at these weekly sessions, Tuesdays 1:30, is mandatory. The drop-in session's not mandatory. You could stay for 5 minutes, stay for 90 minutes. Soybe's just going to be online. Just you can come in and out and ask your questions. Might be about course navigation. It might be about an assessment. It might be finding an answer to an assessment, anything like that. She will be available Thursdays. In addition to this, if you are struggling and you don't, you're sitting there at home and you're thinking, I don't want anyone at work to know I'm struggling, you can just contact Soybe directly and say, can I have a one-on-one with you at a mutually suitable time? And Soybe can organise that as well. All right. So, some people just don't want to, be in a group situation when they're asking their questions. So we're offering both for you. Having said that, this is very much a team effort, and it is about bringing the whole team with us and the whole class with us as we do our assessments. It'll be really important if you can help each other if you're struggling to answer any assessment questions, perhaps in the tea room, or speak to your supervisors as well, because that's how adults learn, by talking to each other. The rules of attendance, this sort of is out the window now that you're participating as a group. But like I said, attendance is compulsory. This is where Soybe is going to give you the information, the theoretical content that you're going to need to then answer questions about. We want the camera turned on. That's not an issue. You're muted at this at the moment, but there will be time for you to come in and ask questions, and we do encourage that. Be prepared, come to class with questions, come to the assessment support group with questions. Yeah. So you'll need to do your homework, and that I won't go on about because that's more about individual attendance. The assessment support sessions, I've gone through these. These is not, as I said, will not be recorded. They're not compulsory. And Soybe will send you an individual email to your personal email addresses for you to join that if you would like to do so. The mentoring sessions, as I said, don't want to ask the question in a group, you can do a one-on-one with Soybe, but you just need to email Soybe and find a mutually suitable time. Soybe's available Monday to Thursdays. Now, you're going to need support because you're doing vocational education and training. This is a nationally recognised certificate. You have to do assessments. Now, vocational education and training is very different to uni. What we need to have evidence of is that your knowledge. What do you know? So we do that by asking you 28 knowledge questions. These are completed online. We then need to ask you to show us what can you do. So there's some practical tasks there. And then with case studies, that is where you apply your theoretical knowledge to, workplace problems. So we need you to demonstrate that problem solving skill. Once you've done all of those all online, you will then be ready to book a one-on-one with Soybe to do a role play one-on-one with Soybe. You may need a colleague to help you and play the role of a client, but this is where we will be doing simulations of medication administration. Soybe will be talking you through it all, asking questions, and then not until the whole group has completed all of those steps, then will Soybe organise the workplace demonstration of medication administration. Because you're in OBERON, we're going to be doing that remotely using video, and so that's going to take some setup, but management will work together to organise for Soybe to do that virtually. So be prepared for assessments. Make sure you know the requirements of the assessment, okay? Do your preparation. That you can download a learner assessment guide. So all of the assessment is online, but there is a booklet called a learner assessment guide you can download, which is all of the assessment questions in printed format. So some people prefer that, but all the answers must be completed online. Okay, so just whatever your preference is. The answers are in something called the Learner Guide, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, and in your e-learning modules and in your Lotus Compassionate Care. Okay, the answers are all within reach. You just need to learn how to navigate those 3 documents. And also the answers are with each other. Now, what happens with vocational education is there's no pass or fail. You're either satisfactory or not yet satisfactory. In fact, you're given 3 opportunities to submit an assessment, and the feedback from the trainer is part of the learning loop. So what we need is for every aspect of every question to be addressed. So what might happen is you might answer 28 questions, and on question 13, it was a 2-part question and you only answered 1 part. Soybe can't just let that go. She's got to come back and say, great work, but question 13B was missed. Can you please go back and answer that? Because we have to have every assessment question and every criteria ticked. So Soybe's feedback will be very prescriptive and very specific as to what you need to do. It's really important that you understand Soybe's feedback. And if you don't, that's when you come along to an assessment support session or book a one-on-one. Okay. And that can go back and forth until about 3 times. So it's not yet satisfactory, not yet satisfactory until you're satisfactory. And we give you 3 times to submit. By the 3rd time, we'd like to think that you've got it. So be very, just make sure that you really understand the feedback. And if you don't understand the feedback, just reach out and we will clarify. So where is all of this done? This is done on our learning management system, which we call eSkilled. This is where all of the content is, the e-learning modules, the learner guides, your assessment guide, the videos, how you can message your trainer, that feedback with the trainer back and forth. It all happens online. And as far as booking the assessment support sessions, you can email Soybe or you can message her through the system as well. How are we going? Do we have any questions so far? Did anyone want to ask anything? Nope. Okay. So you've all been sent your email with your web link to access the learning management system. Your username is your CNH email. The password is the same for everybody. And it's really important that you know how to use the learning management system. So I'm just going to go off and demonstrate that system. Okay, so when you log in, you'll go to My Courses. And under My Courses, there will be a tile. I've got lots of tiles because I've got to see everything. But you'll see one tile that's called Administer and Monitor Medications. So if you click on that, you'll open up the course. So in the emails I've sent you, there's a LMS navigational video. I can't emphasize the importance of watching that video in full to help set you up for success. Learning how to navigate the system is usually the student's first hurdle. Once you get your head around where everything is and where to find it, it makes it, the pressure is less for you as a student so that you can be comfortable doing your assessments. So please watch that video. It is in an email. I've sent you a number of emails. There's the video that how to use Lotus Compassionate Care as well. There's a video that explains vocational education and training. I mean, that we're doing that a bit today, but you can watch that one. And here's the video. If you missed it in the emails, here it is down here. This one's 15 minutes, but it's well worth your time. This one's only about 4 minutes. Recommend you watch those. On the left-hand side, you've got...
Leanne, we're seeing something different, so we're not seeing what you're showing us. We're just seeing... Yeah, if you can just change.
Stop sharing. So let me try again, guys. So I'm rabbiting on and you can't see anything I'm talking about. Shall we start? Okay, is that a bit better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so you click on My Courses and My Courses will bring up the tile. It'll look like that. You'll click on that and it will take you to the course. Okay. Once you're in the course, on the left-hand side, you've got your menu. You can open it up, close it up using the little icons there. We don't really use the menu on the right-hand side, so you can just keep that one closed. These are the videos I was just talking about. There's a Lotus Compassionate Care video, Welcome to Vet video, and the navigational video. These are all in emails I've sent you as well. Okay, so you can see if you go down the menu, you can fast track to a particular part of the course. It'll take you down there, or you can go back home right up the top using that menu navigation links. So the first thing you want to be able to do is access Lotus Compassionate Care. Now, Lotus Compassionate Care, if you click on it, there's a hyperlink. It will take you to a new page. You will have to log in. The login details are there, Meditech Learner, Meditech at 123. The first time you log in, there's a little button that says Remember Me. I suggest you tick that because then you won't have to remember the password each time. Depending on what browser you're using, I'd suggest you add it to your favorites bar as well. The same with the LMS. If you can add that to your favorites bar, then you won't be needing to remember your password all the time. The Lotus Compassionate Care video explains how to navigate this site and how to extract answers from the policies and procedures in particular. So that's worth watching there, 4 minutes. Underneath all of this, you've got your e-learning modules. There's 7 e-learning modules. You click on them. First time you enter these, they do take a while to load, but then subsequent entries after that mean they'll load a lot quicker because your computer is familiar with them. It's got the audio. It'll start talking in a minute. I don't think I can turn it off. And you can just continue or either reading page or you click on the play and it will text to speech audio for you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hello. You're just going a tad too fast and we're just trying to...
Sure, thank you for letting me know.
Sorry.
That's fine. So where do you want me to go back to?
We're all just trying to have a look at getting into the Lotus.
Lotus. Okay, so what I suggest you do, not trying to do that right now, but do it after the presentation.
Okay.
Yep. Listen to the presentation first and then have a go watching the videos, which will explain how to access those separate areas. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So videos are really important. Try and watch those first. So they're up here. So when you log in, you've got the Lotus Compassionate. You can go right up the top on the left-hand side. That's the Lotus video. That's the Lotus link. You click on it, it will open the Lotus link on a new page. You'll have to log in, Meditech Learner, Meditech at 123. That's the video I'm talking about. And then that's the navigational video I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so then I went down to, as you scroll down, you've got your e-learning modules. And when you click, is that okay if we move forward now? Yeah, is everybody comfortable?
No.
No? Do we have any questions?
Any questions?
So, chapter 1.
It's all on the side.
Oh, yeah. I've got it. I think.
Okay, so chapter 1, when you open it up, it takes a while to load. You can always watch this video afterwards.
Chapter 1.
Yeah, but it keeps going back to that Lotus.
Can I suggest, everybody, that you just leave your computers alone for one moment? Just shut your laptops for me, because it's best to do that after this presentation and after you've watched the videos. Yeah? So if we can just shut those computers, please. Okay, lovely. Thank you, because otherwise you're getting frustrated that you can't keep up, and you're not meant to be keeping up at this point. At this point, I just want to give you a course overview. Okay. After this, if you get stuck, that's where you reach out for your one-on-ones, or you reach out with each other to log in, or you go away and watch the videos first before you attempt to log in. So that's the main message, okay? That it's really important before you attempt to log in, attempt to do anything, watch those videos, because otherwise you end up in a bit of a spiral of frustration because it's not working the way you want it to, yeah? So with the e-learning, it will open up. You'll scroll through. This is where the answers are. As typical e-learning, okay? It's got text to speech. You can play the text if you don't like reading, and you can't fast track it. You've got to work through every page. And once you get to the end, there's a brief quiz, 2 or 3 questions, just to check that you've got all the main points from that e-learning module. And then once you've done that one, you can go through and do the next one. Soybe will direct you at the end of each week's class as to what you need to do each week. Okay, so you'll have a timetable and you'll know exactly what's on the to-do list. There's 7 chapters here. There's the learner guide. We talked about the learner guide. The e-learning modules are a digital representation of what's in the learner guide. Now, the learner guide, if you click on that, when you find it, you can either find it in the menu on the left-hand side. It downloads. See how it's just downloaded to my computer? You'll have to go and find where it goes on your computer. And in one of the videos, we give you tips on how to find information in the learner guide. Okay. In the video, we show you how to get to the answers as quickly as possible, both in the learner guide and in Lotus. Okay. The learner guide. So doing the e-learning is definitely mandatory, but if you want to have a hard copy of what's in the e-learning materials, download the learner guide. Some people just prefer that as a way to learn. There's areas here you can click on for additional research and other resources. Should you be wanting to explore more websites for your answers, you can certainly be encouraged to do that. Then underneath that, there is this candidate declaration. So this will be on your homework list today. You have to do your candidate declaration. And basically that's you saying that I understand that I'm entering into an accredited course. There's going to be assessments and I need to ensure that all the work is my own and I'm not going to plagiarize or copy other people's work. You tick the box yes. And once you do that, then all of the assessments will open up. Until you do the declaration, you can't see any of the assessments. Now with the assessments, as you scroll down, the first lot of assessments are there, the short answer questions. But before the short answer questions, there's a video you can watch that gives you tips on how to answer the short answer questions. So your videos are your friend. That's something I want to stress. You need to know how to turn your camera on for assessments because that's the way we authenticate that it's you doing the work because you need to have your camera on. It needs to see you as the student completing the questions. So there's some tips there and links to how to turn cameras on different devices. We talked about practical tasks. So there were 6 practical tasks and before each task there's a video tip. So before you do practical task 1, watch the very short. They're not very long at all, a few minutes. Okay, so they don't waste your time. Straight into what do I have to do with this one? So if you watch the video, it should help you answer the question. So after you've done the practical task, then there's 6 case studies. Again, there will be videos up on all of those. Then once you've done all of that, you do your workplace assessment preliminary task, and that's the one-on-one that you do with Soybe. And everybody needs to have completed up to this point before we organise the workplace demonstration assessments. Okay, so you don't go ahead with the workplace ones until the whole group has completed up to workplace assessment task. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, so I'll just share my screen again. Soybe, are we on track there? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. So, there's going to be a need for you to complete assessments. You need to do this in your own time, work out with your rostering and your facility manager. We recommend that you build a study schedule, find, a rhythm. You're probably going to have to put 8 to 10 hours a week towards this to get it done. So find somewhere in your house or at work but it's quiet that you can either work with a colleague to work through the material together and just really commit to that time each week. If you get stuck, and you probably will get stuck, communicate with us. So if in doubt, reach out. You just contact Soybe and we will help you, and we'll either set up a one-on-one or you can come along to the group session. And so, it's all about motivating yourself. You have to create a goal. The goal is you've been given this opportunity. Your employer is invested in you to do this course. You need to set that time each week as that you're going to commit to doing the course. As I said, no student left behind. We all want to be helping each other and working together. And it might sound like a cliche, but it's don't procrastinate. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. So find that comfortable place. The work is not hard, but it is work. It takes time. It's not academic work. It's all about knowledge, skills, and attitude towards medication administration. And if at the end of the week you've done a good job, you've done your homework, spoil yourself, go out for a breath of fresh air, or do some yoga, or do whatever it is you want to do to reward yourself for achieving your own goals. Any questions before we continue on? No? Okay. So what's your homework? So your homework, and we can stay online whilst you sit at your computers and see if anyone's having any problems and see if we can help you. But your homework is to read all the emails we've sent you, please. Watch those videos. Make sure you can log into the LMS. Hey, can you log in? Have you saved it on your favourites bar? Have you saved your password? Have you found the course under My Courses? Step 1. Step 2, watch all of those navigational videos. Before you do anything, after you've logged in, watch the videos, demonstrate, write some notes. How do I do what? Okay, and it will show you how to move around and navigate the system. Once you're in the system, visit the Lotus Compassionate Care website, log in, save your username and password, save it to your favourites bar, and we're going to email you a copy of the training schedule, so we'll download that. And what we will ask you to do is to complete that first e-learning module, the first chapter, between now and next Tuesday. That's one chapter only, chapter 1, and complete the candidate declaration, which we talked about briefly in this video. So any questions about your homework there? And so the way it's going to work is that after each virtual class, Soybe will have a list of homework that you need to do. So next week it will be completing e-learning chapters 2 and 3. It may even be, let's start answering some knowledge questions. So if you stay together as a group and complete your homework, you'll keep up with the pack, and then it's going to be easier just for us all to progress together. And the homework is not then, outside the realm of expectation or, capability to achieve in that week. And you'll chip away at the assessments that way as well. Now, how do you contact us? So you might want to take a picture of this screen with your cameras. There's Soybe's phone number and email, and there's my phone number and email. Okay. So you're going to get an email from Soybe this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and it will summarise, and probably a recording of this meeting, so that if you want to watch it again, you can feel free, or send it to someone who wasn't here. I'm just going to stop the recording here. Stop that there.